What's going on, everybody, and welcome to J Sports Seattle. In this video, I'm going to be talking about the Seahawks. It's been a minute since I have made a video on anything. I haven't even gotten a chance to make the video on the Kraken like I said I would because I'm still in school. I'm literally in my last 2 weeks of college before I graduate in May. So I've been focusing on that nonstop, so I have not been able to get to videos. um, but yeah, here I am. I got a little bit of some free time, so I got to talk about the draft because the draft is literally happening in less than 3 hours as of the making of this video at 5 p.m. Standard Time, or 5 p.m. Arizona's time, which I think is the same as in Seattle right now. So 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time as well. Um, and this is a huge draft. This is a make or break it draft for John Schneider and company. So, not for Mike McDonald, but for sure John Schneider. This is huge. This will decide if we can elevate from a 10-7 season to like a 12-win season, or if we can remain the same, or if we get worse. So we gotta do something with this draft, with the 10 draft picks we have, which I will go over later. But yeah, I'm just going to talk about literally everything that's been happening the past couple of weeks and then leading up to today with the draft and what I think is going to happen with this draft. So if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. And without further ado, let's get on with the video. This will probably be a long one too, so stay tuned. So, firstly, since my last video, a few things have happened Seahawks-wise. I will talk about, even though they happened either a month ago or they happened a couple weeks ago. I'm just going to recap them and go over them for a minute if I haven't already gone over them. If I have, oh well. If not, then it's in this video. But this is huge. Brady Henderson announced on March 20th, so this was a month ago. The Seahawks and Uchenna and Wosu have agreed to a reworked contract. I mean, this was seen from a mile off. I mean, he hasn't been able to stay healthy, and this is probably his only chance of staying on the team and not being cut. Was by restructuring the contract and even taking a pay cut, as it says. He took, let's see. He was scheduled to make basically $15 million this year in 2025. He's scheduled to make $8 million a season while counting 11.85 million against the cap. So he is taking a $7 million pay cut, which he can earn up to $5 million of it back via incentives and escalators that are tied to sacks, playing time, and playoffs. But when he plays, this dude is a monster out there. We've seen what he can do when he is healthy, but the thing is he hasn't been able to stay healthy. Albeit one of his injuries wasn't his fault; it was because of that stupid play, that one offensive lineman from the Browns in the preseason. That it was a dirty play that caused him to miss like 8 weeks. That wasn't his fault, so I'm not going to hold that against him. But other times, like the torn bicep, he's had a couple other season injuries. Those were just him. It's just unfortunate, but hopefully he can break out of that unfortunate and stay healthy for this team because we need him on that edge and on that defensive end. So hopefully he can stay healthy for us and continue to open up this D line for other players on the D line and on the edge. So because we're probably going to add even more. We already did with DeMarcus Lawrence, and we're probably going to add a little bit more in the draft, potentially in the second or third round, maybe fourth. So we'll have to, especially since we cut this guy. I'll get to this. But yeah, he's going to have to do something, and he's going to have to produce this year. So I'm glad he was able to agree to take this pay cut because we do need him, and hopefully he can earn some of this back by performing well and playing and lead us to the playoffs. So hopefully he can stay healthy. That's the hope and the goal. So, because he had a sprained MCL, Wyatt Teller, dirty play from the Browns. He had a torn pectoral in the end of 2023. He just hasn't been able to stay healthy after having a career year in 2022. or in 2021, or no, in 2022. Sorry. So hopefully he can stay healthy this year. But moving on, even though this isn't technically about the Seahawks, this dude was literally on the Seahawks, literally not even 3 months ago. So we have to talk about this. So Geno Smith explaining the reason why he wanted to leave Seattle, and I'll explain another reason why, of course. But he says there's no hard feelings. I mean, fair enough. But the thing he said that kind of doesn't make sense to me is saying that he felt that Seattle offered too many escape hatches to get out of the next contract. And I'm like, bro, dude, you went 21-15. If it wasn't for a 4-touchdown performance against the LA Rams and rested all their starters, you would have went 17-15, or at minimum 19-15. So I don't want to hear nothing about we gave you too many escape hatches, dude. You got to perform. Yes, you led the league in game-winning drives since then, but I also have to stress the teams we went up against. We haven't really gone up against good teams this year. Outside of we played 2 playoff teams this year. Technically speaking, the Broncos in week 1, and even then we beat them in week 1. And then in which he threw, I think he threw an interception, I believe. Yeah, he did. Opening play, and Broncos in week 1, and then we won against the who was the other playoff team? I'm trying to think. Technically, we run against the Rams, but they rested their starters. So, I don't know, man. Like, I like Geno, but like he was demanding way too much. And I saw that I couldn't find this since it's already like in the past, but I saw that we even offered the 40 to 45 million that he wanted a year, but he didn't even give a counter offer. That just means he wanted out. He just didn't want to be in Seattle. That's what that tells me. I think he wanted to be with Pete Carroll. He told me that I think that's what he literally hinted at, that he wanted to go back to being with Pete Carroll. I mean, he was the one that believed in him. And well, yeah, that's true. He was the one that believed in him, and that's good. That's good for him that he's going back to the coach that believed in him. I have nothing against Geno. It's just I just thought that was a little. I think that's just a little on the nose in my opinion. But no hard feelings towards him. Like he said on both sides. So that's good on him, and I like that. We were able to get at least a 3rd round pick for him, and we didn't have to. Whoa, what in the world? That was weird. I like that we got a 3rd round pick for him, and we didn't have to pay him that contract. So we gave Darnold a cheaper contract, and he's younger. So just imagine what basically just imagine this. It's basically we gave up, or not gave up. We traded Geno Smith for a 3rd round pick and Sam Darnold. That's essentially what we did. So we got an extra 3rd round pick for Geno Smith, who before 2022 was a career backup. So I'll take it. No offense to Geno. That's just the story of his life, his career up until then. So I wish nothing but the best for him. I'm actually going to root for him because he's in a very stacked AFC West. The Raiders have been horrible for the past few years, so I hope him and Pete can at least bring them to at least somewhat relevancy, like maybe another 9-8 like they did with us. And so at least that, because they've just been horrible for the past few years. So at least they can win 8 or 9 games or something. So I'm rooting for Geno. I got nothing against him. So, but it's time to move on, and we did. So, anyway, but yeah, going back to this is a need that we may address in the draft. We waived Cameron Young. This dude he didn't really do anything. He was hurt a few times, and when he was in, he didn't really produce. This is just a part of getting rid of stuff from Pete, or people from players from Pete's regime. That's just another process of filtering out. This is he was drafted under Pete Carroll in 2023, so he was a 4th round pick, so we really wasn't expecting too much out of him. Wishing nothing but the best, but he couldn't find something a lot behind Williams, Reed, and Byron Murphy. So, but we still do need more depth outside of those three. We need to have backup players and even starter level players that can be backup, or just starters. And Cameron Young wasn't it, so um, we're probably going to get somebody in the third, fourth round again maybe this year, probably maybe a higher round, just because we want to be able to address that need and not have to worry about it. So we'll see what happens there. But this is something I want to talk about. So since we got Clint Kubiak, he has been saying that he is going to implement having a fullback into his offense, which is what we used to have back in like 2022 and 21 with Nick Bellore. And we now have our fullback. After looking at free agency, we do have our fullback. We are converting tight end Brady Russell to fullback, who has the build for it, 6'3", 250 pounds. He has a pass catching ability to do so, and he's a great blocker. It's like they say here. So they are transitioning him to fullback this year. So we officially have a fullback on the roster, and that is Brady Russell. So that's good on him. I do think this is good for him because his like I said, with his frame and his build, this should just be a natural transition for him. So fullback isn't too much different from tight end. Tight end is kind of like a tight end that lines up in the backfield in a sense, because they block and then they can pass catch. They can also run the ball. That's the difference. But they can pass catch a lot. They're really good at pass catching compared to like running backs and halfbacks. So that's really good. So I like to see. That's what I like to see. And let's see how that translates. And I think it'll do well with helping this offense be better this year. So, going to our draft picks. This is all right. I want to take some time to talk about this because there is so many avenues that we could go with our draft picks that I've been thinking about for the past couple months. So, like I said, in the past, I have said that we we have the highest draft pick of any non-playoff team. So, not a good position to be in. And the thing with the 18th pick is normally when you have that pick, you normally either want to trade down or you just go best player available. Knowing John Schneider, he does not like to trade down. He doesn't normally trade down. But one thing that he normally does and always does is take the best player available. Now, that is what I think he will do in this draft. Whether it's Tyler Booker, whether it's Tyler Warren, or TJ Warren, whether it's what's his name, Josh Simmons from Ohio State, whether it's McMillan, whether it's Egbuka, whether it's, I could go on and on about the players that could be available at that pick. Emon Wari, the safety, like Omarion Hampton, anybody. Literally, best player available is what John Schneider will go, whether if it's defense or offense. So that is what I'm expecting out of the 18th pick. I'm hoping it's an offensive line pick. But like I said, knowing the history of John Schneider, especially with these late round picks, or not late round picks, like mid first round picks, he's probably just going to go first round or best player available. So that's what I'm thinking he'll go for the 18th pick today. For the 50th and 52nd pick and the 82nd pick and the 92nd pick for tomorrow, I don't know if the fourth round is covered tomorrow. I'll have to check. But for at least I know the second and third round are covered tomorrow. For these four picks, we gotta go offensive line. At least two of them. We have to go offensive line because, you gotta do something. Like this offensive line has been horrendous since the turn of the decade, and it hasn't been like top 10. Above average since the Super Bowl years. So, you got to do something. And we have a good chance to do so. With 5 top 100 picks, you have a chance to get a good offensive line prospect. So, you got to do it with one of those picks, with one of those second-round picks or those third-round picks. So, dude, that's all I'm hoping. At least 2. And then for the late round picks, I mean, you can just do whatever you want. You get you get another cornerback. We kind of could use another cornerback because outside of Reek and Spoon, we got Job, and then Trey Brown, I think, is a free agent if he's not unsigned for more a year. Kobe Bryant is a safety now, so he's no longer a cornerback. We only really have 3 good corners to use. I mean, we got Nehemiah Pritchett. I think not DJ Jones. What was that guy? That guy, other six round pick. He got cut, but we still got Nehemiah Pritchett. But he didn't really have a good rookie season. He had flashes, but he really did not. He showed he has a lot to work on, and he's not ready yet for the big leagues. So there is that. So we could get a cornerback with like the 4th or 5th round pick. We could get another linebacker. We could probably get another defensive lineman. Probably, I think that's what we'll do with one of these picks too. We'll either get like a defensive lineman or a linebacker or an edge. So, I mean, Schneider's just got to get back to finding those diamond in the roughs. And if we need to trade up to get a guy, we can. And if we got to trade down, that's fine. I mean, all I know is with the 18th pick, I just think that John Schneider is going to do what he did last year and probably the past few years is get best player available. That's how you build a winning team. That's what the Niners have done. Even though they haven't won a Super Bowl yet, they have been to 2 Super Bowls in the past 6 years. So like, you got to build by best player available, and then address what you have with those later round picks, like the 2nd and 3rd round, which is still good picks to have. And you can still find quality talent with the 2nd and 3rd rounder, and even a 4th rounder you can find one. So like we have been able to find one. So we just got to keep doing that. So that is our pick situation. Who I think we will pick with the 18th pick, if I really had to narrow it down, I mean, according to, we can go to the mock draft. And also another thing with the offensive line, one thing we may not have to worry about is right tackle, at least not for this year. We still may draft somebody, but maybe in the later rounds because Abe Lucas is fully healthy now. So that could affect how we do things going into this offseason regarding his contract situation. We may exercise his 5th year, or we may just sign him to a deal if he has an excellent year, if he stays healthy and has an excellent year. So we'll see. At the 18th pick, we're projected to get a wide receiver, Golden from Texas. He's an awesome receiver. Don't get me wrong. I don't think that's going to happen. I do think we will get either an offensive lineman or best player available. It's one of those two. It's just how it's going to work. If the best player available is an offensive lineman, that's double trouble, I suppose. But that's what he'll do with the 18th pick. I don't think he's going to get Golden now. I don't think he'll be the best player available by then. Obviously, though, there will be people like Tyler Warren that goes. Gentry's going to go top 10, top 15. Abdul Carter's going to go top 3. Will Campbell's going to go top 5. McMillan's probably going to go top 15 as well, like it says here. I get that. Kelvin Banks, those people will go. But like you see down here, like Josh Simmons, he's projected to go 25th when we can get him. I like how Shedeur Sanders is projected to go to the Steelers. Mario Hampton, the 20th pick. Jahad Campbell, the 19th pick. Gray Zabel, the 26th pick. Tyler Booker, the 20th pick. These guys are all projected to go later round, but we could take those guys. We really like them. And those are all offensive linemen. So, like I said, offensive linemen are best player available. So we'll see what happens. If that turns out to be McMillan, who, is at 6'4", 219, he's not built like DK, but he's a tall, physical receiver that would immediately fit in on this team. If he falls to us, we'll probably take him. Stuff like that. So, Colston Loveland, if he falls to us, we could take him. Stuff like that. I don't think we don't really have a track record of drafting tight ends in the first round. But you never know. Like I said, best player available. So, and looking at our salary cap space, going into today, we're still top 10 in salary cap. We have $34 million in cap space. On top of the $67 million in cap. The fact that we were able to get out of that and still have a lot of money out of that is, like I said, great work by John Schneider. Now, like I said, you just got to nail the draft, but still great work nonetheless on this aspect of running the team. And $34 million a year, or not $34 million a year, $34 million in cap space. That's great. and that's what I like to see. So I don't think we'll have any trouble signing our rookies this year. And we may even have enough money to sign another free agent at the tail end of the off season. Once we get everybody signed, so I think that's fine. 2026, we're no longer projected to have the most cap space in the league. We're now $102 million at fifth. It's because we've been playing those contracts that we have that we gave with like DeMarcus Lawrence and Cooper Kupp and Sam Darnold. They're now kicked in and they're effective. So they're not counting against the cap. But I wanted to bring that up. Yeah, I don't know. Sometimes they'll give me a free article. Yeah, so like here, Abe Lucas is healthy, so that means maybe one less need on the Seahawks need O-line. That's needy. Because, like I said, we could go right tackle. I just don't think we will. Oops. He's even like been able to lift more and push more. So Cross, yeah. So yeah, we're not going to do anything with at left tackle with Cross because we're going to have him. He's in his final year of his rookie deal. So that means if we were probably going to give him a fifth-year option depending on how the season goes. So that means he'll be playing Nick here next year as well. Same with Abe Lucas. Depending on how things go, we could give him a fifth-year option. So these guys are young, and we drafted these guys, so we don't want to just let go of these guys, especially since he was the ninth overall pick, and Lucas was a third-round pick, so you want to at least make something of that. And the thing is when Lucas was fully healthy and playing, he played well. So I'm glad to see that he is now looking to be fully healthy, and we could get that. We need that, and we could get somebody else to fit in the interior offensive line, like at left guard. We just need a left guard back, because that's where Lakeland Tomlinson was playing, and George Fant, I believe, at times. Right guard as well, because Christian Haynes. I mean, we're trying to give another run with Christian Haynes because he could be good, maybe under the right coaching staff. Maybe Clint Kubiak's system is better fit for him, so we'll see. But like Christian Haynes and Anthony Bradford, those guys. We'll see what happens with those guys under Clint Kubiak. Let's see if they can be good. So, if not, we could draft another right guard. Maybe we can draft a guard that can play both left and right guard. I don't know if one of these guys in the draft are. Maybe Zabel could be. I don't know. We'll see. But we got to get somebody. At least one. At least I'm at the bare minimum one offensive lineman in the top 50. I hope we go for two, ideally two, but if you got to at least get one. You cannot go top 50 without drafting an offensive lineman. So I think that's what we'll do overall. So that we have a lot. There's a lot that we could do this draft, and we have a lot going for us. And like I said, this draft is a huge draft for us from here on out because we're trying to build on a young team, young defense. The quarterback class is not that good this year. Oh, speaking of which, we could get a quarterback in the later rounds. Like I saw that Tyler Slow could go in the second or third round. We could get him. Jackson Dart's probably going to go. His draft stock has risen dramatically the past few weeks, so he could go top 15 potentially, top 20. I mean, if he does fall to us, we could get him. But we don't have a track record of drafting quarterbacks in the first round, so I don't expect us to. So, but we could get one in the later rounds. We do have a track record of doing that, albeit. The most prominent one was 13 years ago with Russell Wilson. I mean, we drafted Alex Mago in the 7th round, but that's the 7th round. It's a throwaway pick at that point. So, like, I don't know. We'll see. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, like I said, this is a huge draft for us. Depending on how this draft goes, we'll either be the same or we could be a Super Bowl contender within the next couple of years. So we have to have a good draft. John Schneider, this is a make it or break it season for John Schneider. For this draft, we're make it or break it draft. So he has to hit on a few picks. So we have 10 picks. He's got to hit on at least 3 or 4. So at least on the top one. So, but I think that's all I have for this video. I'm probably gonna be making a Mariners video soon, and I will hope to get to a Kraken video soon to wrap up since the season ended and the playoffs are happening right now. So I'll try to get to that as well. So stay tuned for those videos. But if you like the video, make sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share for more Seahawks and Seattle sports content. Thank you for stopping by. Have a good day. Enjoy the draft. Hopefully we get what we need. And go Hawks, go Mariners, and go Kraken.